So we were gonna start with the Jets, but now I kind of want to go to the wide receiver topic because I want to pick your brains
Let's
and
do
then
it.
see what you guys have to say as well. So let's actually start with the Chiefs. So with their success, a lot of people have been looking at Tyreek Hill. So since leaving the Chiefs, they're going to their third straight Super Bowl, as we know. So if you guys remember, the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins for 5 draft picks, and the Dolphins gave Tyreek a 4-year, $120 million extension, including $72.2 million guaranteed. So looking back at that trade, what do you think of the decision made? And then given that you were a receiver yourself, what do you think is the mindset Tyreek Hill has seeing the Chiefs' success and then where he's at right now with the Dolphins?
I mean, he chose what was best for him. It's either stay in a situation where you take less money and you want to win championships and you try to ride it out for the longevity of it, or, football, money is not always guaranteed. So with him, I don't fault him, any way, shape, form, or fashion. He went after the bag. He got that bag, and that's what it's all about. Again, it's like it's not the same as NBA or Major League Baseball where their money, whatever it is guaranteed. Again, like anything can happen, injuries, whatever case. Ownership can have a change of heart. Guys come in, they move pieces and people around, yearly. So again, he went with the opportunity to make the most money that he could, from a signing bonus standpoint. So again, what was the big number that he had? I think it was like 72 million.
Yeah, $72.2 million guaranteed.
Right, but the totality,
$120 million.
Right, but again, like I said, if just say he gets hurt, he doesn't get that 100. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what solidifies him and makes him secure is that signing bonus.
Got it. Okay, and then Mase, what do you think about Tyreek Hill's position, given that he's at the Dolphins, but then seeing your team, Titletown, all this winning that they have going on? What do you think about it?
I think when he's looking back, he's trying to figure out, I know the money is great, but I think when it's all said and done, people want to win, and they want to win on the highest level. Sometimes if you can't win, you get the money. If you want to get the money, but you definitely want to win. That's what I would say.
Okay. Right. Cam, your thoughts?
I don't think this Tyreek shit would be a big deal if he wasn't complaining after the Miami Heat. Miami Dolphins got bumped. So now it's looking like he's like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to losing. I don't know. I'm not used to it. If he would have just shut up and went home, no disrespect to Tyreek, and went home, there wouldn't be no big deal.
Right.
But now he's complaining about not winning when you went and took the money.
Right.
When you went and took the money, everybody kind of understood it. Same thing that we was talking about the other, not yesterday, last week, with Eric Bieniemy. He looked like a genius when he was there. Then you lose, and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes still doing their thing instead of being part of something great. You left and did your own thing. Now it looked like they didn't need you. Now you back in college coaching. So with Tyreek Hill, my personal opinion is if he didn't do that closeout interview talking about when they asked him, yo, do you want to stay here? He like, I don't know, whatever his answer was. Then when he puts up his Twitter, Instagram feed, he has his face on Antonio Brown's body the day he's leaving out of Tampa Bay.
Not a good look.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So my thing is this. He won a championship, and he wanted to get his money because he already won a championship. Right. So he's like, I got the championship. Let me go get the money. He didn't know that this shit was going to keep going on with the Chiefs, so it looks bad.
Well, and I think part of it, too, like, I get where he was coming from. Like I said, understanding it, like I said, you're throwing with Tua and you're throwing around with him in practice, off season, whatever. Tua looks like he could be Patrick Mahomes. I knew it, but once that game starts, it ain't just throwing around on air. You got people playing football, like hitting.
Yeah.
So obviously, Tua has had a history of concussions, being injured. So that's factored into really his success, and probably it puts a gray area with the future of Tua as well, because if he's not healthy, that team is not that good. Yeah. And as a receiver, you're only as good as your quarterback. And I, like I said, when I saw Tua in college, I worked out with Tua when he was a freshman. And I walked away from that workout, and I'm like, man, this is, as a true freshman, I'm like, yo, this dude is better than some of the guys in the league that I had been playing with. But again, like I said, health plays a big key in the success of an individual, and obviously at the quarterback position, you got a whole organization relying on what he does with his ability, obviously, to throw the ball and obviously get out of the pocket. He's a shell of himself right now. So Tyreek, again, Tua, it's gonna be like this next year. Trust me, Tua's not. I love Tua, but he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it through He's not gonna play 16, 17 games no more. It's just not gonna happen because he's a shell of himself. He's had too many concussions. Anytime that he hits that ground or somebody hits him, he's gonna be out, guaranteed. And that's why Tyreek was frustrated, is because he didn't have the success that he had the year before. I mean, he was flirting on 2,000, and that was because Tua was throwing that thing left and right, and he wasn't getting hurt. He wasn't getting tagged. But now he's getting tagged, he's getting hit. It's not the same. His decision-making is off, everything. And he's throwing the ball quicker than he needs to because he feels the pressure, because Tua knows he's another hit away from probably being out of the league.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, you chose the money, nigga, and I ain't mad at you.
Yeah,
once
can't
you
be mad
chose
at
the
that.
money, ain't mad at you. You can look at the situation, right? You got James Harden. Let's just use James Harden as a situation. He could have stayed in Houston for $103 million for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
He probably made a shitload of money, and then he started chasing championships.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Brooklyn. KD and Kyrie, thought that didn't work out. Went to Philly, that didn't work out. Now he's back in LA where he's originally from. But he turned down money to get a ring, and that didn't work out. Now, would you want the ring? I think that's the balance. Once you get your ring, you want the money. Let's think about Bruce Brown from Denver. He was part of the Nuggets. He's part of that championship team. I don't know where the fuck Bruce Brown is at right now. I don't know what team he's on or anything. You get what I'm saying? And I know Sin is going to say something. Sin is all, this is his favorite shit. Niggas always leaving. I said, Sin, because niggas want to get paid. You got to understand that. Niggas want to get paid. Let me ask you this question, T.O., before we move on. What would you have done in this situation? You want a ring with the Kansas City Chiefs. Miami's offering you more money. You have a ring already. What would you have done if you was Tyreek Hill in this situation?
I don't fault Tyreek, and I totally understand. I think the decision would be totally different had he not won a ring in Kansas City.
Right.
Maybe he stay there, get more money. But the fact that he already won a championship, as a football player, that's all you want. Mm-hmm. You want to win a championship, or if you're fortunate enough to win 2, 3, that's icing on the cake. But you've already won one. You're a Super Bowl champion for life. Nobody can take that away from you. Right. Now at this point, you setting yourself up for future. You're setting your family up for your livelihood that you're going to be living. So obviously, like I said, he goes to get the bag. For me, again, I played for Andy Reid. Again, like I said, I would probably if I was in his shoes, I probably would have done the same thing. Would Miami would have been my first choice? I would have gone somewhere where I knew I felt like, okay, I can contribute, and I got a quarterback that I know for the long haul that I can win games with. You got to factor in all those things. Like I said, Tua on paper looks great. Routes on air, that's fine. But when it comes to like playing the game, you got to do your homework. Like, okay, this guy's been injured or whatever. You go find a team where you know you can benefit, and you got a quarterback that obviously can get you the ball, and you can be a big factor in them winning championships. So again, I get it. Trust me, I know what he was going through. I've seen Tua. Like, the dude is, if he was healthy, bro, he'd be one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
But you would have left.
I would have got my money. I would have went for the bag too. Especially if I've gotten a championship.
Right.
Why wouldn't I?
Gotcha.
I mean, because that's what it's about. You've won a champion. You're known as a Super Bowl champion. Now you can go bring that experience to another team to see if you can do it again. If those pieces are aligned, from a defensive standpoint. Again, that's why when I left San Francisco, I forfeited that trade. I didn't go to Baltimore, even though they had a stout defense led by Ray Lewis. They had Kyle Bowler as a quarterback, and I try to tell people, like, it's not nothing against Kyle, but he was a rookie. They was like, oh, well, Ray Lewis is on the team, blah, blah, you could have won. But Ray Lewis don't throw no passes.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm looking for somebody that can complement me and vice versa, to where, like I said, I can extend my career and obviously ball out. Because you have personal goals, you have team goals. And obviously, everybody, you want to win a championship. But again, I didn't feel that, I could go in there and Kyle could do be the quarterback that I needed where I was in my career at that time.
Yeah, what I think he factored in was the weather and the bitches.
Yeah.
That was part of the decision.
Miami.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
You know.
And the money.
Hey, that's part of it. It all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all hand in hand.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two big necks, like when they doing them 2 for $5.